Hi everyone, it's Weirdo Girl, and today I'm going to show you how to make a shirt using a graphic. My friend uh, gave me this picture of a blood moon, and he really wants it on a t-shirt for his character on Roblox. And so I said, okay, send me the picture. And the first thing I want to say is make sure that whatever graphics you use, that you get a good resolution because when you're resizing, um, it's really important to have a clear picture because it can blur a little when you resize. And so you want to make sure you have a good quality picture. This one's a pretty good quality. It's a little grainy, but this was the only copy that he had. And so what you're going to want to do is start off with your GIMP program, the GNU manipulator, and GIMP 2.10.10. This is a free program. Get on the website. They have tutorials to help you learn how to use things. I just taught myself as I went along. It's similar to Photoshop. So if you are a Photoshop user, you'll find that the use of layers and masks and things like that come in handy, and you'll be familiar with it. So you're going to need a template. So we're going to use we don't need the pants right now, so I'm going to close that out. So we need the shirt template for Roblox, and it has to be an exact pixel size. So it's 585 by 559. It has to be that size. Otherwise, when you upload it, it'll say that there's some sort of error, and then you're going to not be able to use it. So on the bottom of the layer, the main template, you have this transparency. So this is where you would fill things in. I found that in order to maintain the integrity of the template, I always start with adding a new layer on top, and I do all my work on that. And I don't touch this template to the very last step, which I'll show you at the end. So I always make sure I'm on that layer, and I work in multiple layers. So first of all, I'm going to start off with a basic t-shirt color. And so I usually, if I'm using a graphic, I like to match the colors. So I'll take this eyedropper tool, and I want a black t-shirt. So I'm going to look for a nice black in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this like that. So copy. So I'm going to go back here, use this square tool, the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw a rectangle on that top layer. And I'm going to fill it in with the black that I picked. So you can either hand color it. I like the pink bucket tool. It's really easy to do. And what I do is, because I like to start with a basic color, I will fill in the whole template. And this is the torso part. So there's it's like kind of like wrapping paper. It wraps around your figure. So this is the front, the side, here and here are the sides, and then this is your back. This is your top where your neck is and your shoulders. And this is underneath your belly, like underneath the top part of the torso. And then down here are your arms. So right here, this is the top of your shoulder of your arms. That part here. And then I'm going to do one here. And it's okay if you go over a little bit. That won't really matter too much. But I try to keep it really clean and follow exactly with the borders of the template. Now I'm going to do a long sleeve shirt. So I usually go down almost all the way down. Usually looks better when you stop a little bit early. Now I could draw another one, or I can do Control C, which is copy, and then paste. And I go to the rectangle tool, and I can grab it, and I can move it over and line it up exactly how it should be, like that. So here you have your basic t-shirt. I could actually just stop right there, but I like to add details, and I like to make sure that that it looks like a real t-shirt. And so one of the things that you're going to want to do is make a neck hole. And so you don't need anything super big. You do need it to go up a little bit, though. I found that if you do it too low down here, it kind of looks like your head's coming out of your shirt in the back, and then it's like there's this big hole in the front, so it looks kind of funny. So you want to make sure that you kind of center it, and depending on if it's a man or a woman's shirt, you can adjust the size in shape of your neck hole. So I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to cut. And here you have your circle. Now I don't like these lines. So if I hide that for a second, these lines here show you where to line things up for the sides and the top and the back and the front. But in the end, if you leave them in where they're visible, you can actually see it on your avatar. And so I find that getting rid of those is really important. So what I do is if I do cut through all the way, I'll also go to this layer, the original template, and I will cut as well and get rid of that line. So now you have a nice clean line. Okay. So next, I'm going to want to take this and I'm going to copy it again because I did a little cutting. And now I'm going to add a new layer because I want it on top, and I'm going to paste. And so I'm going to paste the picture. Now look how big it is. You have two options. Either you take your scale tool, you click on it, and you scale it down. You just basically shrink it until it's that size that you need. Now sometimes a picture will look really good when you do this. Sometimes it looks horrible, and you lose all the detail that you wanted. Okay, so you want it about that size. Okay, now it looks good right now, but when I hit this, it's going to position itself, and look, it looks really great. The other option is if you're to go into here, you can actually scale it before you copy it, and you can scale it down, and it actually gives you a nice clear picture, and sometimes that's the better option. Okay, so if I click off there, you've got this wonderful little graphic. So again, I could stop right here and be done with it. But I'm going to add some details. So I'm going to add, I usually like to use a rectangle tool, and I'll make like a little cuff. And I'm going to use the red that's in here. And so I use the eyedropper tool, gives me that red. And now I'm going to fill this in. And I'm going to do copy and paste. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it over here. Okay. So now I've got sleeves. Now, I like to be a little fancy. So what I'm going to do is if I'm looking at this here, I see that this isn't like 100% black. So if I look at that and I look at my color thing, well, it is black, but it looks like it's a shade lighter. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the smudger tool. And I love the smudger tool because you can make it so that a picture kind of blends into what you put it on. And I can kind of shape it. Now, if I go like this, I can make it look kind of like it's round, and it gets rid of those sharp edges. And you just click and drag. That's all you do. It's like you're smudging. It's like you're smearing it. And it's a really handy tool to get rid of seams, especially if you copy and paste a pattern. You might have some hard edges. You don't want those hard edges on your thing. And there's these dark corners here. I'm going to kind of smudge them out a little bit, kind of get rid of it. So I don't like hard edges on pictures. So I'm going to kind of smudge this out. Gets rid of the thing there. And then here, if I look at this, I kind of like it in the hard line here with this coming out, and it looks kind of neat. And I think I might leave it that way because if I try it, if I go like this and I kind of smudge it out, I could do this. That might actually look better. Just kind of smudge it, make it look cool. Actually might not be too bad. And then that's actually kind of neat. I like that. So it gives it a little bit smoother edge. Now I'd like to go and make a neckline. So I'm going to take my painting tool, and by holding shift down, I can connect, and it gives me a bit of control when I'm making a neckline. Now, if I'm going like this, I'm looking at it like, I don't like this width, so I'm going to undo. So that's Control Z. So I'm going to Control Z back. I don't like that. So I'm going to go down to probably a 3. And I really want to go along the edge here, so I'm going to zoom in, and then I'm going to try it again. And then I basically just want to follow the neckline. You don't want to do too big of jumps Because what happens is if you do that, you get kind of a sharp, jaggedy circle, and then it looks kind of junky. So you don't want that. You want to look good. And the key to making good clothes, especially if you're going to sell them, is to make them look good. And sometimes the finest details are really, really important to the final product and really make or break an outfit. I've had multiple people tell me that they buy an outfit and they're just so disappointed because of the quality, and it's blurry or there's lines that shouldn't be there, and it's just a bummer because you spend your money on something like that, your Roblox money, and you get this awful product. So there you have it. So now I have, if I go like this, now I have a shirt. I do want to get rid of these lines, so I'm going to go back. The final step is usually to zoom in and I cut those out. So I have to be on that first layer. I draw a line, a rectangle, and I'll cut. And then I draw a line or a rectangle and I cut. And then I get rid of this line and I get rid of this line. Okay. So once you have that, then you want to save it. So I go to save as, and it saves it as an XCF file. So you want to make sure you have some organization when you're dealing with your saves. If you're doing a lot of clothing, my organization is not all that great right now because I switched computers, but I will be organizing it much better. But I'm going to label this Black Blood Moon Shirt. Okay. But unfortunately, with the XCF, you can't upload it into Roblox as an XCF. You have to do a PNG or a JPEG. So you have to go to Export As, and it automatically comes up as a PNG. And it already has the name on there. And so I'm going to export it. And I usually just kind of ignore this stuff. I just hit export because that's all you need to do. And then what you do is you go into your create. And you have my creations and you have group creations if you have a group. I have a group, Weirdo Designs, so I put my stuff into Weirdo Designs. And so I'll go to shirts, and this is all under the create tab. So if you have Builders Club, you'll have access to the creation portion. And as you can see, I've got all kinds of different shirts. For some reason, my computer does not like to load the pictures on here, but it does load up when other people look at it. So I'm going to go back to my pictures and where I saw it, or I saved it, and I'm going to find it. Let's see here. I'll do it by date here. There we go. So Black Blood Moon Shirt. I have to pick the PNG file, not the GIMP image. You hit open and you hit upload. And once you have uploaded it, it is now on Roblox, and it has its own ID and everything. So you go to configure if you're one to sell your product, and you can add descriptions if you want to type in some tags like black, shirt, blood, moon, red, etc., fancy, whatever tags you want to do. And you click sell item, and this is where you make the price. I always leave it at 5, and so I just do 5, hit save, and now it has its own ID right here. So when you have your ID, you can copy it, and I'll show you when you go into Roblox Studio, and if I was to put this on a mannequin, you'll get to see it in just a second here. When it loads up, you can place it on a mannequin. You can see exactly what it looks like, and I always like to do that right away, because if I don't, then it can sometimes look really, really bad. So I have a couple mannequins here that I use as testers. I just put them off to the side. So these mannequins here, when you click on one, you have it says man for mannequin, and the top part is your outfit and the bottom part is your script. So I'm going to go to shirt, and you go down to shirt template, and that's where you click on that, and I'm going to paste that number that I just got from Roblox. And when I hit enter, there's your shirt. And you can look at it and you can walk around it a little and make sure that it looks good. Yep, it looks great. I like it. And so it's a real basic shirt. I could add more details, but for now I'll just keep it as a basic shirt. So in order for people to buy it, you have to go to, close that out, you go to the model and you go to the top. and click on script, double click on it. You have this number here. And I paste the number that I just did. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to hit enter. It's already auto-saved. So then you close it out. And when you're done, I'm going to take this. I'm going to do Control D, which is to duplicate, so I can get a copy. And I'm going to fly over here. And I'm going to rotate it because I want it to face the other way. There we go. And I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to go into my store. Ooh, hello. Hello. Freaking out here. All right. Sometimes it glitches, and you have to do that. All right. So now I've got it on there. I'm not going to put any pants on it right now. I'm just going to put it there. I think I'm going to, oh, sometimes it pops up. It's really annoying sometimes. Come here. Come here, mannequin. Get in there. There we go. All right. We'll just leave it right there for now. And so once you're done and you have it where you want it, then you go up to File, you go to Save, and then you go to Publish to Roblox. And now it's there. So if I was to close this out and I go to my store, I click on that, and I'm going to go in as myself. And right now I'm sporting the black armor that I made for women. It's a cool design. It was elven armor, and I found some really cool bracers and greaves to add to it. And so you can see that it's got some really cool detail, and I made a gladiator type skirt. But I just loaded that up, and so it should be here and should be ready to go. And so I come over, and you always want to test. If you don't test, then people say, oh, I can't buy it. So there's the shirt, and so I should be able to click buy. And I know because I already own it, this is what comes up. But anybody else, it would come up with, do you want to purchase this for 5 Robux? And so I know that it's working. And so there's your Blood Moon shirt. And that is a basic tutorial of how to do a t-shirt with a graphic. And I hope you like this video. I hope it helps you with your adventures in clothes making. But please like and subscribe my videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.